Hello, my beautiful beard growing friends. So today we're going to talk about making your beard less scraggly. Here are the 4 things that you must do. Scraggly beards are something that no one wants. Now, I think it's really important before we sort of talk about the fixes, we kind of identify what makes a beard scraggly. Now, I've had my fair share of scraggliness, but I think, tackling these, 5 kind of areas of scraggly beardness will really help. So let's talk about that before we get into the fixes, because some of the fixes may apply to you if you identify with one or more or a different combination of the symptoms of a scraggly beard. Don't worry, it won't take too long, but I think it's an important first step. Now, this video is based on an article on beardgrowingpro.com, so go check that out because I've got a massive list with other resources. It's a really comprehensive article, and I've spent a lot of time getting all of the data and putting it together, so go check that out. I'll put a link in the description, or just type in Beard Growing Pro into Google and you'll get taken to the website. So here are the things that make a beard look scraggly. The first one, and it's probably the one that's the most obvious, is stray hairs. Now, when you look at a beard kind of straight on, you'll have lines of the beard, which is kind of like here, underneath, and then as you turn your head, the lines change. So, you can kind of see it here, here, and it all just kind of, you can see the beard relative to the background. But stray hairs break through those lines, and the more scraggly your beard, the more hairs break those lines. And so it can be really sort of frustrating because I occasionally get 2 or 3 hairs that just won't stay in place. They break out the lines of my beard, and if it's 1 or 2 and they're persistent, it's kind of really easy just to grab some scissors and chop away at those hairs. The issue is, if you have more than one, you can easily thin out your beard and make it look lopsided by constantly going at it with scissors. So don't just go for the scissors if you have more than 1 or 2 stray hairs together. Use another approach or a combination of the approaches I'll talk about in a little bit. But yes, stray hairs are the first thing that makes your beard look scraggly. A beard also looks scraggly because it is uneven. Uneven in kind of 2 ways. First of all, if you have a patch of hair where, maybe the density is not quite there, but then right next to it there is density. It's that comparison that can really kind of make a beard look not intentional and scraggly. And so yeah, fades are your best friend here. So we'll talk about trimming in a moment, but if you're trimming up your beard, fading into those problem areas, not making it so obvious that they're super different is fantastic, and also uneven in terms of symmetrical. So a scraggly beard, can seem heavier on one side than the other, or your mustache may not be trimmed up, or there's uneven growth even within the same area. So stray hairs and uneven growth is kind of where the biggest kind of scraggliness nature of your beard really comes to the front. And yeah, like I said, trimming and shaping your beard, making sure it's symmetrical, is one of the best things you can do. Perhaps you've got a thin beard. Thin beards are a beard with low hair density on a certain part of the beard. Now, scraggliness really comes down to looking through the hair. So sometimes, we talked about hairs escaping, but if you can see through the beard, then sometimes that can make the beard look really scraggly. And that goes for, and I'll kind of add these together, which is light hair. So you can either have thin hair where the density isn't there to support it and it doesn't look substantial and thick. And the second one is light hair where, if you're super blonde, if you have got super blonde hair or super light hair and it's fine and straight, it can mean that you can see dark things through it. And in my other video where I've talked about, is your beard thin and what you can do about it, go check out that video here. You can actually kind of give the optical illusion that it's thinning or that you have light hair by what you wear underneath it. So I'm wearing a dark colored top today, which means that, there's not much reflection or you can't really see through this hair. But if you're if you've got light hair or you've got thin hair, then wearing a dark top can actually accentuate the kind of scraggliness so you can actually see through it. Yeah, that's tricky to balance and it's different for each person. And the last thing, which is what most people kind of think of first, is a dry beard. Now, a dry beard is one where it's over heat treated, over washed, and it can really add to the kind of frizziness of the hair. Now, what I recommend is essentially products to get over that, and also not being too paranoid about your beard being overly clean. You know, don't shampoo your beard every single day. It's a very easy way to get it looking very dry and brittle. And really, you know, when we talk about a dry beard, it's about protecting the outer layer of that beard, the cuticle, and laying getting the different roof tile kind of slats to lay flat on the outside of your beard hair. And so dryness is a big contributor of getting those all roughened up. And so yeah, beard products, not using too many heat treatments, just let your beard go nude every couple of days. I think that's really good. And today I'm wearing just a little bit of beard oil and a little bit of my DIY wax. And yeah, it's just enough to hold it in place, add a little bit of moisture. You know, it's got shea butter, it's got oil, it's got all of that stuff. And I don't blow dry my hair to within an inch of its life. So yeah, dry hair is probably one of the most important contributors, but definitely not the one that will cause the most. Look for stray hairs, uneven hairs, and also your thinning patches. I think that's the biggest contributor of a scraggly beard. So now let's take a look at all of the things that you can do to make your beard not look scraggly. Now, none of these should come as a bit of a surprise to you, but I have put them in a certain order where the most important thing I've put up front, so that is the thing that will cause your beard to look least scraggly the quickest. And then I've put the kind of things that you can do, and you know, it definitely does help, but tackle these in order, and I feel like then you'll be in a position to know where you are getting the best results from these fixes. All right, let's go have a little look. Okay, the first one, and I've mentioned it just before in the video, is a trim up. There is nothing quite like trimming up your beard and allowing it to kind of have defined lines. There's no way that your beard can be tamed with products alone, and therefore trimming it, learning to trim yourself. So go check out my other video where I talk about how I trim my beard at home and how I line it up. But there's no way that products can do this alone. So trimming up is so very, very important. You can either do it yourself or go see a professional. And I reckon in the early days, go see a professional. It'll definitely help, and you'll be able to see what they do to your beard, and then you can try to replicate that at home. But here are the two things that I trim up for. The first one are the lines. So when I trim up my hair, I have a light background behind me, and I just trim up with trimmers, and I just see if there's any hairs that escape the kind of lines of my beard. And so by the lines, I mean where its maximum density is at. And so, yeah, you know, like I can get rid of these little ones, but overall, I don't go too crazy. But just getting rid of those hairs, I start with trimmers, and then if I see any sort of stray hairs, I'll get them with scissors, and that's really just so that I don't go too crazy and end up just chopping off the majority of my beard. So yes, trimming up the stray hairs is important, and it can be done sensibly, not too crazily, so you end up chopping chunks out of your beard. But the second thing is density. Now I trimmed up my beard recently, and I noticed a massive improvement in how it looks, because I took off where it was frizzy. So at the end here, I had kind of an extra inch of growth, but it didn't add any substantial kind of density or thickness to my beard. It just created this weird kind of frizzy area. Go check out like last week's video to just kind of see what I'm talking about, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago now. But if I sacrifice a little bit of length, what I actually do is end up making my beard look fuller, because it hasn't got this see-through kind of section at the end. And so trimming your beard back to its natural maximum density can be a really awesome way of making your beard look great. The second way to make your beard not look scraggly after you've trimmed it, are products. Now, products will not do the majority of the hold for you. They're kind of like the cherry on top. And so beard oils are fantastic. After you've come out of the shower, put it on, give it a bit of a blow dry. It locks that moisture in from your shower. And then I also use a beard balm and wax to provide that little bit of hold. The thing is, these things won't just absolutely like hold your beard in place. And if they do, they tend to be like really waxy, heavy products and substances. So go check out my other video where I talk about my DIY beard balm, because I love it. It's got the perfect amount of hold, and I live in a hot climate. I'm in Australia at the moment and it's 35 degrees today, which means that I need a little bit more wax in there. Otherwise it just like bleeds off my face in the heat. So yes, look for products with a little bit of wax, but not too much, because if you've got too much wax, then your beard just looks heavy and greasy, and no one wants that. The third thing I want to talk about are brushes and combs. Now, your beard could look scraggly because you are using a plastic comb that imparts a lot of static electricity into your beard. Now, once your beard hairs all have the same charge after you've brushed it, it'll like repel and kind of become frizzy and push out. So using a wooden comb is fantastic for doing that. And also I use a natural hair brush, so go check out my recommended tools page on beardgrowingpro.com, where I just list all of the things that won't cause it to be frizzy. The comb won't sort of damage your hair like some cheap plastic combs can. And so yeah, a good quality wooden comb and a natural bristle brush just tucks in that little bit of hair. And also using the natural bristle brush after you've put in some product helps distribute it as well. So buying a good comb brush kind of combo, boom, that's where it's at. And the fourth thing, there we are, there's four fingers. The fourth thing that I want to talk about is heat treatment. Heat treatment is a little bit of a holy grail just because it like works. It just holds everything in place. But what you end up doing is sacrificing, long-term health of your hair for short-term hold. Now, I don't like to use too much heat on my hair. I use a little bit of blow drying in the morning, but I actually haven't used a beard straightener for a long time. And that's just because I just don't trust that it's good for my hair in the long run. So I'll use it if I have an important event or a wedding, or I'm emceeing an event, or something like that where I want to look a little bit more special. But it's not something I think you should use every single day. You risk drying it out, you risk overheating your hair, causing cavitations, causing it brittle, become brittle, increasing fall and breakages. And so even though a scraggly beard can be easily fixed by heat treatment and it feels so great, don't rely on it. Although, use it occasionally when you have to, and that's how you get rid of your scraggly beard. And it adds that extra little bit of pizzazz combined with all the stuff I've talked about before. Heat treatment should be your last port of call for your daily scraggly beard. But if you want it for that special occasion, use it. It's pretty good. So there we have it. There are my 4 big fixes for a scraggly beard. Let me know in the comments what you would add. Go check out Beard Growing Pro, and if this video has been useful to you, please remember to subscribe and hit that bell notification, because that means a lot to me. It really helps grow this channel and my website, and I want to help everyone grow an awesome beard. I shall see you in the next video.